I'll try to talk, obviously, but, and can you see that, you guys? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so ask any questions you want to ask, and I can pause it, or we can just keep, oh, I don't even have to pause it. We can just keep going. This is working out so much better for me to not talk while I'm doing it and to record a voiceover, because you just can't imagine how many times I get interrupted. In fact, you might even see some, oh no, that's the next one I did, is actual visual interruptions. Okay, so I'm just marking off, I had my tape at the bottom and I just marked off, the edges so that I would not have things like a car that goes off under the mat, because that has happened a lot. Like the car in Molly's painting that somebody asked about going off under the mat. So I had that problem a lot of getting stuff too close to the edges. And every time I think, oh, you don't have to do that, Jeneane, you're so good now. You don't have to make that line. Regret it. So. Also, I'm amazed at how I don't draw what I see. Look how much bigger I've made everything than. I have a really hard time drawing from a photograph compared to drawing from real life. In real life, I think I draw things exactly like if they look like they're half an inch big to me, like from where I'm standing, then I make them a half an inch big, but it's supposed to be easier to draw from photographs, but.
Jean, what size are you drawing on?
Oh, it's 11 by 15. Thanks for asking. And this is that terracotta paper. I was worried about using it. I was worried, that it was going to be too much under the blues, and but then it wasn't. So
is it sanded?
Yes, it's that Pastel Premier.
Oh,
that's I just am happy enough. I'm happy, so I just don't try anything else at this moment. If I was unhappy, I'd try some other stuff. And I don't mind the choices of colors I have, that just basically gray in this.
Yeah, I would have a hard time painting this photo because of that.
Because of
all the grays.
Oh, all the grays.
And the sun's not hitting the field or places, and I'm fussy.
Well, I tried to tone it down. I tried to hold myself back. I mean, not in the beginning, but I really made an effort to make it more realistic, and it's nothing like the photograph. It's nothing like it. So I don't know what to say about that either. Maybe I am painting a formula, a purple formula.
No.
So this is the second time I did it. So I will show you all the other one. The other one, when I was throwing away all that stuff off my computer, I threw away the end of the video.
Oh.
Yep. That's okay. Like I say, I've learned some interesting things. I'm glad to say that they don't look exactly alike. They look quite different. So.
Yeah. Jeneane, I just think you love color.
Yes, you
I
do.
do, but God, I don't know. I mean, nobody really had exactly. I mean, I was really thrilled about how different everybody's color was on the one from last week. And already, seeing this is the one that Dick did his painting from. So that he got it so beautifully gold and violet. So I'm just right away, that's kind of, that was a problem right there. But I was trying to, this is, I think, the same pastel I used back there, but because it's on top of this other color, it's a different color. So I'm just trying to keep, because I'm trying to separate these three. And then I didn't realize that was going to be the same color as the sky. So you see, I just tested it and said, oh no, I'm not going to use that. And I didn't have anything else in between, I guess. So I just went right for this darkest one, but I'm trying to set up a thing right away where those three masses are different from each other. And you
Mhm.
could do it the other way. You could make them all the same and then separate them. But because maybe they are more alike than they are different. But I just have a hard time with that, going that route of making everything kind of more the same and then separating it. And then I decided that this tree was just too much like the background. I still decided that, evidently. So I'm changing that. And then I realized, oh my God, you can't start putting red places exactly until you get some of that paper covered up, because you just don't know what you're doing. And I do feel that way, that I have to get the paper covered so I can see what I'm doing. But I do also feel like the paper, especially this nice warm paper, it just really glows through the final painting, even though maybe no one realizes that's what's underneath there. Like, I've always worked on colored paper, and one thing I did like about Canson was that it had so many different colors that you could use. I've always, and for a long time anyway, not always, but for a long time, I've used enough pastels that people didn't know I was working on colored paper. So when I used to show at the Peel Gallery, like, a really long time ago, I was in there one day when they told somebody I was working on white paper. I was like, no, I'm not working on white paper. So they had never even realized, because it had so much pastel on it, that it was paper that had a color underneath.
Jeneane, when I did the two different ones this weekend, the first one I did on this same terracotta paper.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized I wanted to do one that was more subtle, I decided it might be easier on a gray paper. So the second picture was on a gray paper.
That's interesting.
It's just also sort of an experiment.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And also at this stage, I'm just trying to get in all the colors. I'm just thinking about colors. I'm not exactly thinking about trying to make it look like, I'm not thinking at all about trying to make it look like trees.
Is that the same color you used
It
at the
was.
top?
It was the same color.
Hmm.
And I don't use that many colors in any given painting, considering how many colors I have. I'm going to say maybe 20, 25 colors in a painting. Next time I'll take a picture while I still have them all out of the box. And then or I'll count them or something. And also, I just hope you see a lot of things are mistakes, like that, whoops, went too light there. So then I have to come back. And also, you can see my camera's a little out of focus. I did that again. I can't believe it, but I did. But in the final, and also I can only film for 12 minutes at a time before my camera turns off, which I don't really get that, but that's good. It makes me have to get up and walk away every 12 minutes.
Wow.
I have to set my timer on my clock and then get up and walk away. And I know that I have a tendency to not back up when I'm sitting down. So that's kind of a good thing. But the third and fourth videos are in focus. So. And it's nice when there's really no drawing to speak of. You can just really just work on the color. But the other thing I think I mentioned before, how much it helps me. Like there's mistakes when you see the final one, I'll tell you the things I thought needed to be changed, but I didn't see him until I really looked at the photograph I'd taken of it. I never saw him. Then I could see him on the real painting, but that taking photographs as you work helps so much. And lately, I've been taking maybe 7 or 8 photographs right at the end, like take a photograph and then look at that photograph and say, oh, and then fix that one thing and then take another photograph and say, oh, and then fix that next thing. So literally there's like those dogs I was doing, well, which I didn't show you yet, but yeah, the dogs, man, and still, like Morgan, I know you said something about you didn't have Pixie the right color. Well, neither do I. Like Pixie is some sort of golden retriever in my painting. But
Jeneane?
yeah,
Oh, no, I forgot the question. Sorry.
Oh,
Go
oh.
ahead.
sorry, I made you
No.
forget.
You
Did you
didn't.
ever, Jeneane, did you ever submit a picture of Lily?
No, I lost track of that idea.
Oh.
I'm so bad, Judy. I can't
It was
keep.
such a great photo.
Oh, thank you.
I took it with me to California.
I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah. Well, I just did one of Catherine's dog and I did one of my other friend's dog who passed away.
Oh,
I did oil paintings though.
They're certainly easier to deal with after they're done.
They sure are, man. They're just done.
It's the thing I hate about pastel. I love pastel, but boy,
Yeah, I hate framing.
matte and frame and glass and all that.
I hate every bit of it. And I hate that it costs more to frame a pastel than an oil painting, but you can't
Yep.
sell a pastel for as much money. So far, I've hardly sold any here, so
Wow.
I've been selling oil paintings.
Huh.
you want to hear something funny, Jeneane? I just
I-
got a check from Artisans Gallery.
Yeah?
Sold 2 my fish paintings last month.
Did I send you the fish photographs yet?
No,
I'm doing it right now. Oh, that's so exciting, Judy.
you know, and the elephant and the I think animal. I'm working on zebras now.
Oh, neat. God, when are we going to see these zebras?
I have so much on my plate. I'm just have to learn how to say no.
Yeah, you do. It's now or never.
It's really, it's wearing me down.
Oh, some of us are so good at that. People would say I'm tough. But so it's hard for me to understand that it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
Well, if you were raised to be able to say no, I think that's really a positive thing in one's life.
I don't think I was raised to be that way. My mother hated that about me. I just grew up that way. I don't know why.
I love the layers of color you're putting on now. First in the sky right above behind your hand, and now in those trees.
Oh, thanks.
And
Yeah,
the,
I love all the
the turquoise you just added is gorgeous. Wow. You're so bold.
Mhm.
Reckless.
No, bold, brave.
That better, yeah.
What's reckless? It's a painting.
Yeah, I know. What's the worst that could happen here?
Right.
All right, Judy, I sent you 2 pictures of fish.
Did
What color are
my
you
phone?
putting,
Yeah, on your phone. Koi fish.
what color are you putting over the trees on the left?
Right that minute. Look like kind of purple, huh?
Well, over the purple, it looked like a dark blue or
blue.
green.
This color here or
No, below it.
here? I have
Yeah.
some really
Oh, in
nice
between the two, that dark just above the like.
right here.
Yes.
Well, it's probably that dark Prussian blue, or the other color I really like in Rembrandt is the bluish green. That series, it's 640, 640.3 is the 640 is the series, and it's the darkest one they make. That's something I always rebuy. That and the dark Prussian blue, I always have that. So I was trying to figure this thing out with these those little darks, but in the trees, but then I don't know, I might have just made the trees too light, but I think I make them darker again. And you can see how I brought in a ton of the sky over the trees in the distance, way more. I soften them way more than they really are. But sometimes I just like to see how far I can go with that. How much can I push things back? How much do I not have to explain every little thing? And I thought that maybe putting in some of these, that's just charcoal. I was thinking that putting in some of those darks would help differentiate them or show that those trees were closer to me than the ones on that farther hill.
Right.
Oop, I just dropped it again.
Jeneane, why did you turn this into a scene which is vibrant and colorful versus muted and wintry?
That is the question.
There you do that.
That's what the hell is wrong with me? That's the whole question.
That's what I
Well,
say.
I'm not criticizing it. I just want to know how you decided to go that way.
I didn't.
Don't you always go that way?
I always go that way, but
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning,
Love
for
that about
sure.
you.
In the beginning, I always go that way. I always overstate it in the beginning. But the problem was I tried, the literal truth is I decided I was going to pull it back and make it more like the photograph. And then I did not achieve
Okay.
that.
You know, Dee Dee, what I always say, and I've said it in this class so many times, don't paint what you see, paint what you feel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to paint what I see, but maybe what I see is different.
Right, yes.
I
That's
mean,
fine.
everybody has a different vision, but I would like to do it again and see if I could make it more. I just like, I don't like the feeling that I can't do something that I want to do. So
That's fine. It's so interesting to hear that approach, because mine would have been more true to the colors and the scene.
But Dee
And
Dee, it doesn't
yours
have
is
to be.
a great departure.
but I thought your colors were really beautiful in the other one. I mean, obviously I
Yes.
way overstated that one too. It's just I guess I'm not trying to make oh, look at that funny little guy running right there now with a backpack on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
A flaming
look at-
backpack.
He's cross-country skiing, I think.
He did a gorilla.
Either that or one of those, what are those guys that are out in the woods, Bigfoots?
The Yetis.
Bigfoot. There you go.
Yetis.
Yeti.
Mhm.
Yes, I've got a Yeti. Yeah, but I was trying to, I was conscious that it was overstated even more than normal. But
But
yeah,
we're not at the end yet either.
no, I'm not done, but it still is, even in the end. I'm sitting here looking at it. But did you, I don't know if you saw my paintings at the hospital, Dee Dee, of the cathedral, of the convent in Castelvecchio?
Yes.
Yeah, well, those, you know, all those are like, that building is pretty much monochromatic. You know, and I don't know, I just looked at it and said, oh, well, that's purple, that's green, that's pink.
It's a real talent.
Yeah.
It's a real something. It just might be, I mean, I developed it. I haven't always been able to do this. This has been something. That's what my first teacher taught me, my second teacher. And then Henry Hinchy, of course. But you know, when I was in Provincetown a few weeks ago or a month ago or whenever I was there, and I saw all those paintings by people that were students of Henry Hinchy, and I think he would have been a little upset to see how they were all painting pretty much the same colors over and over.
Oh,
Yeah, they weren't. So, because his deal was paint what you see. So.
And you see orange and rose and purple and green in a
Yes,
photo that I see as mostly black, white, and gray with a little bit of hint of color behind.
yeah.
I love that about you.
Well, I didn't manipulate this photograph at all. I just cropped it. That's all I did.
Well, Jeneane, you are influencing at least me because I see more color when I look out there. Maybe I'm looking for it, but I
Yeah,
see more colors than I used to.
good. I'm so glad. That's what I want for people, is just to see more.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to make y'all paint like me. I that is not my goal here. But all I can teach really is what I am.
that's so different than Dick's. I mean, his sky was so completely fused with mostly oranges and yellows, and yours has this not strident, but strong pink, and purple, which is very, very different. It's so interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, to see the differences.
And you know, my least favorite color in the world is pink. I hate pink. I wouldn't wear pink or have it anywhere around me ever. But I have a lot of pink in my paintings. It's true.
Jeneane, I see a dog in the clouds running
You do?
I don't.
with its nose, ears, two legs, a white
A
cloud.
hound.
Well, I decided it's okay if people see things in your clouds, because that's what people do.
That's right.
And I have this book. Oh, let me see. Maybe I can go find it. It's right here somewhere. I love this guy's paintings, and I swear to you, he is painting things in the clouds.
Gray.
Yeah, Lauren Harris. I think he's Canadian. He might be one of those group of 7 or I'll take some photographs of him though, so you can see, because there are definitely things in his clouds. I'm sure I've shown them to you before, but it's like they're birds and stuff in them. He painted all these pictures of the Arctic,
Mhm.
ice and glaciers and cool clouds. And I saw the show at the I saw them, so it's not just from reproductions.
So when I was attempting to do a fairly simple painting, those 2 lake ones that you saw, when I was aiming for the subtle, but I thought I would bring it the grays and purple lavender over. But then when all that rich glow was in there, I didn't want to knock it all back. And I see the same thing with this.
Yeah.
It has such rich color in it that you sort of hate to see it all go.
Well, and I don't actually have any grays. So
Yeah, but you have all this wonderful, like, look at that pink and orangey yellow right above the tree line is amazing.
Well, and like I say, I'm pretty sure that if you want to paint things grayer, you have to have a bunch of grays in your box of pastels. And I think I have 3. And that I used to never have any, but now I have 3. I would say violet is kind of my gray.
You love violet.
Yeah.
It's just a very different feeling from the photograph, which is almost monochromatic, gray, overcast, and yours is explosive with color.
Edie, where do you live?
Montpelier,
You live in Montpelier?
yep.
Can I ask where?
Liberty Street.
You don't live far from me. I would love for you to come over one day and bring your some paper and a pastel. I'd love to sit with you
That would be great.
for just for like maybe half an hour.
I'm afraid I'd be a little bit overwhelmed by your,
No, you wouldn't. You would not. I have a teeny little house. It's only 429 square feet, the whole
no,
house.
it has nothing to do with the house. It's your color.
No, but it would be a tiny little space. So I would just love to sit with you for a few minutes. If
Okay.
you would like to.
Dick came over, right? And hung out with you, Judy?
Uh-huh. Yes.
I think he got so much out of that, you know. And we're all going to see each other next weekend, right?
That's true.
It's so exciting.
I have to go online and find out where that text is. I think you sent it while I was in California about what time and everything for next week.
I sent it this last week, but I can send it again.
It's an email, isn't it?
It's an email. Yeah.
Oh, I'll look for it.
Yeah, I visited John's studio and I got a lot out of that. I think it's really nice to see people's close up and see their work close up and see their materials and workspace and everything.
Yeah, I don't have one.
My workspace is my dining room table, so I have to take it down and put it up and take it down and put it up.
Oh,
Don't miss
too
those
bad,
days.
Judy.
Don't miss those days.
What'd you say, John?
I don't miss those days.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you don't miss those days. Yeah.
No.
I've never had those days.
Me neither. If you would see the size of where I paint. It's
Well,
like
some
a
of you
closet.
might remember, you used to see me in the basement under the pipes and next to the laundry. That's still where I draw. But it's handy because there's a big sink there. I can wash up afterwards.
The key thing is being able to leave your stuff out. That thing,
yes,
I'm-
it is.
Yes.
It really matters.
Exactly. And not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
I agree. Because every time Jeneane sent me a message about what I might want to do to improve my painting, I at least had the box of pastels out. But if I'd had to put it down and open it up every time, I might not have followed her advice.
Yeah, back in the good old days when we used to all be together, there were a lot of times people had packed up everything and I'd say, no, you just got to do one more thing.
Well, when we came to your class, we'd have to bring everything.
I
Up in
know.
that building, we would come in the back entrance by Kinney's.
Oh,
Remember that
yeah.
how long ago
Whoa,
that was?
that really changed it. That's
It was a
beautiful.
long time
Yeah.
ago.
I like that a lot, Jane.
Yeah.
That's also the thing of spraying, you know, that I could, because did it say that I sprayed it somewhere when I walked away? Maybe it said.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
up a little sign, said
Yeah.
spray. No, that's really beautiful, what you just did.
Thanks.
So
Wow.
the spray is what enabled you to sort of drag that light
Yes.
color
Mhm.
and leave some dark.
Yeah, drag that light over the
Big
dark
difference.
and make it
Wow.
look like something's laying on the dark color. See, I really wanted to try to get those these little trees in the front, but then I drew that line and then I had trouble getting rid of that line, even though it was charcoal. So, and look, see, I tried using gray. That's my gray. There it is. That's the light,
Why did
that's
you
the
make-
light gray.
Why did you make that tree in the foreground so prominent? It's so little in the photo.
I know. Well, I wanted it to come forward. I don't know why. And then I
Okay.
wanted there to be more space. I wanted there to be more space in here. And
Just
so then that
asking.
tree had to get bigger and bigger to overlap, and so I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, it's partially because the line between the two, what are they, like the peninsula
Yeah.
and the line under that prominent tree?
Mm-hmm.
They don't line up in yours, whereas they do in the
Well,
photo.
that was intentional, because
Okay,
I wanted that space. I wanted that Z shape going back.
okay.
I
Yeah,
agree with that.
it really reads the painting so much better with that
does.
space. Yeah.
So I'm always looking for that Z shape, and I know I don't actually probably mention it enough, but that a Z shape to lead your eye back into the painting.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Good. Now I'm glad you brought that up, because I'd forgotten I even made it wrong on, I mean, I did it on purpose. It was very deliberate, and I decided not to manipulate the photograph, you know. I could have done that on the photograph, but I just feel like I should be able to make stuff up with or change stuff without having to change it in real life all the time. And I've been doing my usual thing of lots of figures and stuff on the beach, but I haven't been using a grid. So I think that's my drawing's getting better from that. Yeah, here, see, there's the finger.
Oh my
Knock
God,
that-
the finger.
I know,
Oh
knock
my
that back a
God.
little, knock that back a little.
God forbid the finger.
I know. It's okay to use your finger as long as you don't get too carried away with it. The problem is a
So
lot of times
That
people
looks,
start
that looks more
blending
like a shrub versus a tree.
in real life, or
The photograph looks like a tree, yours look like a shrub.
Yeah.
Looks kind of shrubby in the
Fine.
photograph.
Fine,
Yeah.
well, I
it's
think
great.
I don't care. I'm just pointing it out.
Yep.
It holds the snow well.
Yeah, that's true.
It's misty. I mean, it looks
Wow, look
pretty.
at that sky,
Pretty.
the water.
Well, I wish I hadn't made all this so even. See the stripes, and I didn't see it. That's one of the things I didn't see until I looked at the photograph later.
What do you mean you didn't see the stripes?
I didn't see that I'd made these parallel stripes here.
Oh,
But
Oh.
Just
that's
see
in the
it.
photograph, you know, you see the two stripes in the photograph.
I know, but I thought they were repetitive. If
Yeah.
I'd seen it sooner, I would have.
Where are you,
was a
where are
real-
you talking
Stripes are
about?
you talking about?
I'm talking about like right here where my cursor is.
Oh, I see.
Pink, purple, pink, purple. That's just the kind of little thing I'd like to avoid. Oh, I made this better all of a sudden. That got better.
Mm-hmm.
There, the ocean. So I don't, a lot of times I do, when I critique people. Okay, so here's the last little video. So this is like 11 minutes left now. When I critique people, I do say things well compared to the photograph, but it's not that, I don't know what I was doing then. Oh, and what am I doing now? Oh, well,
Painting.
I guess. Yeah, so a lot of times I do look at people's work and I say, well, this is not like the photograph, but I only care about that if I think the photograph is a better solution than the solution that's been made in the painting. So I don't really care if it looks like the photograph. The photograph is just usually it's if I look at the painting and I think something's doesn't seem right, then I go back to the photograph and I say, well, is what doesn't seem right because is there something in the photograph that will help me to understand better why this doesn't seem right in the painting? but I don't want people to feel like they're copying photographs. I want you to know that you can change anything. It's just, you have to change it to make it better for the painting. And that's tricky. So the longer you paint, the more liberties you can take, I think. You just take more. It's like natural.
Mm.
So Jeneane,
Depends on your
that
person.
texture that you're getting in the front, that's because you're going over something you've sprayed, right?
Yeah,
That's how you.
that's how you get that.
So beautiful.
Oh, thanks. And if that's a lot of times what happens is I can't get what I want. And then I have to spray it again because I've lost that
Yeah.
texture. And that, to me, I love the depth of the layers so that the surface is not like solid in a way. It has depth.
The hard part is to have the courage to do that when you kind of like what you've got. Like on that same, I have to decide, well, do I really want to work on it all again? And how much am I going to have to work on it to get that? And does that depend partly on how much you spray it?
Yeah, but I have to spray it pretty hard to get it to do what I want. Here's the thing. If the more you paint, the more you're willing to risk. So if you're, like right now, I'm probably painting, I wish I was painting more even, but it's probably 25 hours a week or something I'm getting. I'm painting. So, and pastels, pastels is so easy to take risk in pastels compared to anything else like oil painting or, it's not the kind of time commitment or anything. Even if I do have to work over the whole thing again, it's nothing like the oil paintings, these stupid tiny little paintings, and they take forever because I kind of do that same thing. Something's bugging me, and so I fix that, and then I have to work over the whole painting again. So I do know anytime I start, I'm going to end up working over the whole painting again. And there you go, another 4 hours into a 5x7 painting.
Whoa.
I know, it's insane. But I'm kind of happy with what I'm doing this year. I think my paintings are better. And I had a lot of anxiety at the beginning of this school year, which I kind of go by school years, but at the beginning of the school year that maybe I'd peaked, and that it was downhill now. And, but I don't feel that way now. I feel like changing over and working with the palette knife more has really changed the way my paintings look. So I'm feeling better.
That's great.
And don't you think that painting such different subject matter changes everything too? You're
Oh
down
yeah,
on
it
the island on
does.
the seashore. You got new sights and smells.
Yep. And I'm doing a lot of boats too, because people like to buy boats.
Yeah.
So Jeneane, you're doing 5x7. You're selling 5x7s?
I would here, there seems to be a really strong culture of selling small paintings and the holidays. So I'm painting now for next Christmas.
Oh.
The holiday seasons, I was in three. I was in 3 small painting shows.
Wow.
And so, yeah, no, I didn't have enough. So I sold, I don't know, I can't remember how much stuff I sold. But I don't have that much left, so.
How much can you sell a 5x7 painting?
Yes,
for?
well, that's what makes it stupid. You can't sell them for that much. I sold my 6x12s. I sold for $75, and I sold my 6x6s for $50.
It's too cheap, Jeneane.
Yeah, I know, but I'm kind of new in town, so next year I'm going to charge more.
Look at that shrub.
that's
Look
too
at that
cheap.
shrub look at the shrub in the foreground that was a tree in the photograph. It's totally different than where you started.
It's a tree now, right?
Now it's a tree.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought it became a tree at some point.
Dee,
you
are
are
you selling at those prices free?
Dee Dee.
Sorry.
What, Michelle? What, Michelle?
You're shrub obsessed.
Yes, I am.
It's a shrubbery.
Well,
what
that's partly because I know shrubs and trees.
Oh yeah, she's a landscape artist.
Yeah.
John, what were you saying?
Are you selling at those prices framed?
No, see, that's the thing. Those little oil paintings are just
Oh,
on
okay, the
those
oils.
board things.
Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't do it. That was the thing. Like some of the shows have a limit for what you can charge. I mean, I think it's $300. But it's kind of hard to sell a framed pastel for less. I mean, I guess, I think I had them for 200, but they were frames I've had a long time. I cut all my own mats. They weren't perfect.
Yeah.
You do any prints, Jeneane?
Prints. No, I haven't done prints. Like, you mean like the photocopies?
Yeah,
No.
they sell like
can't-
crazy.
I know I should do it. Maybe I will by next year. I don't know.
And you can
Those
get good money
paintings-
for those.
Those paintings you spend a lot of time on for.
I
some.
know they'd be
Mhm.
worth having prints of.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
even note cards.
Yeah, I
I
make,
know.
Yeah.
No cards.
I make cards out of my paintings. I have a number of cards that I made from my paintings. I have a friend who has a print shop and she's really good. So
Your cards are really beautiful, Barb.
but they're my paintings.
I know. I'm just saying they look beautiful as cards.
Yeah, they do. I like them like that.
No, there's a lot of things I have to do. Like that, people here do this thing where they take those little blocks that I've been painting on and they like decoupage a print on them. I just I don't want to sell I don't know. I just don't exactly want to do that. So it's kind of like, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I only have to make $500 a month. That's my goal. And it's a very modest goal.
Very.
Look at the middle of this painting. Look at that middle part, just those
Yeah.
colors and how you brought that gray or lavender or whatever you brought and it just mutes it back in there. It's just gorgeous. And
Oh,
that
thanks.
and down, right where you are right now, that color coming down. So you may not go for subtle, but you've got a lot of subtleties in there.
Oh, good. That's good. Good to know.
Really lovely.
That
I
sky's
just got-
this sky's not subtle though.
No. I just got contacted by 2 different commission clients who wanted more boxed note cards of their paintings.
Oh, excellent.
Repeat customers are nice too.
Yeah, they are. That's so great, John.
Yeah, I give each
John,
commission
where-
client, gets a set of boxed note cards with their painting delivery.
Never
With
thought of
instructions
that.
on how to reorder. And of course, every
Yeah.
card has my information on it too.
Hey,
Good idea, John.
where do you order your cards from, John?
I print them right here.
Oh, you have your own printer.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah, I do my own prints and note cards.
wow.
So the note cards, John, are of the painting that they commissioned?
Yes.
That is very cool idea.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, it gives them, the way I looked at it is it gives them the opportunity to share their new painting with family and friends.
Exactly. I bet they love that. And it's advertising, of course.
It is, and it's resulted in more commissions from their family and family members and friends.
It's a very cool idea.
I know, John, I always learn something from you every time you speak. Most of you, I learn something from you every time you speak.
Yep, and it's just fun.
Well, it's really
I like
good.
everything about it. I like the framing. I like cutting mats. I like it all.
Oh, I've had cards made at Capital Copy for years, and I'm really happy with them.
Oh,
Just
hi, Sue.
putting that out there.
Thank
Yep.
you.
When you do that, do you take in a photograph or do you take in your pastel?
I take in my artwork. Sometimes I have them make a full-size color copy of my artwork, and the note cards, and I usually take in cardstock, just because it's cheaper that way. And I do 2 up and they cut them for me. They're really nice. They've been great.
I don't know how happy they'd be with chalky pastel on their printers.
I've done it. I have done that too. And they just clean it
Okay.
off.
All right. I think I
I've-
did it a long time ago. I haven't done it in
Yeah,
ages.
I mean, I did chalky pastel for years before I started the oil pastels, and the oil pastels probably leave some residue too.
Yep, there's the end.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Go back.
Okay.